Anarchist, Blood God, War Pig. You could call Techno any of these, and nobody would bat an eye. But what if I were to call Techno a victim? I can see them now, the irate stampede of skyblock monkeys screaming blood for the blood god as they travel innocent bystanders on their way to knock down my door and shove endless examples of Technoblade casually massacring Minecraft players while telling stories from his childhood. Apes together strong. But no, you fools, get off my counter and stop eating my goddamn bananas. I'm talking about Technoblade's character on the dreamsmp. Now, let me be completely transparent. I am no stan. While I think that the creators behind the scenes are incredible at what they do, I have absolutely no idea what they're like in real life. So this video isn't going to be some 40-page deep dive into the mind of the man behind the screen. It's strictly about the character that the team helped write. It's also very important to note that regardless of how terrible the characters treat each other, they're all probably really good friends in real life. So, to the 20 people that will watch this video, don't go hating on any of the creators because their character emotionally manipulated your favorite pig in a block game. That being said, let's get right into the pork and potatoes of this video, and let me tell you exactly how Technoblade is the not-so-righteous hero of the dreamsmp, and the true victim of the storyline. The date is September 22nd, 2020. Tensions are high as the new president of L'Manberg is announced in just 5 minutes. Wilbur takes the stage, vote results in hand, and addresses his constituents.
Fellow L'Manbergians, and by that I mean Tubbo, Ponk, and H-Bomb.
Woo! Wilbur! Yeah!
I have with me the election results of the 4 parties. In 4th place is Coconut 2020.
Yeah!
Oh! Yeah, the pity votes.
Coming in 3rd place is Schlatt 2020. In 2nd place, with 30% of the popular vote, led by the party leader, Quackity.
Oh! Yeah! We did it!
By 45% is Pog 2020. Tommy, please, calm down, Tommy.
Wilbur!
Tommy, please. I'm... 2 nights ago on the night of the election, Quackity made a deal with the leader of Schlatt 2020. Quackity said that no matter what happens, Quackity would pool Swag 2020 votes on with Schlatt 2020 votes. Pog 2020 got 45% of the popular vote, meaning that the coalition government of Schlatt and Swag 2020 got 46%.
Yes! No way!
Yeah! Meaning that tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on Tuesday, the 22nd of September 2020, Schlatt 2020 has been inaugurated.
Yes! Yes!
Well, that was pretty easy. And you know what I said? The day I got unbanned from the dreamsmp, and the day I said I was running, I said things are going to change. I looked every citizen of L'Manberg in the eyes and I said, you listen to me. This place will be a lot different tomorrow. Let's start making it happen.
What do you...
Wilbur, are you sure?
My first decree as the president of L'Manberg, the emperor of this great country,
Wilbur, surely not. Will.
is to revoke the citizenship of Wilbur Soot and Tommy Innit. Let's go!
No! Yes, baby, yes!
I'm out of here!
Get him out of
You're
here!
no longer welcome!
Get him out of here!
Tommy,
And so, just like that, Wilbur and Tommy were on the run. Exiled from their own country, embarrassed on their own voting stand, and shot at by their own people. Tommy and Wilbur had never found themselves so alone. And so, a few days after the election, they invited esteemed warrior Technoblade to join their cause. But make no mistake, Technoblade, although invited to help take down Jay Schlatt's Manberg, had his own goals that he made clear from the outset. Technoblade had the goal of bringing down Jay Schlatt's rule, not to reinstate his allies as the leaders of L'Manberg, but instead to bring an end to governments as a whole. The key here is that even from the beginning, Techno had made this clear, and every time that he brought it up since, Tommy or Wilbur just brushed it off as the ramblings of Techno. Techno worked overtime for the brand new nation of Pogtopia. He spent countless nights on the server, skipping sleep on various occasions, just to keep the colony going and growing.
Okay. How long have you been on this? How long have you spent here?
I haven't logged off.
Wait, you haven't logged off the server from last night?
I've just been here.
Well, that's like 14 hours, Technoblade.
Revolution waits for no man.
Techno poured time and work paralleled by none into the revolutionary effort, with great efficiency and effect for his friends. And let's not forget the secondhand trauma that he faced as a result of being in this revolutionary effort. Techno was forced to go behind enemy lines, putting himself in great danger by lingering in the territory of people that wanted him killed on sight. He saw his brothers suffer. Wilbur went insane, Tommy grew distant, and all of his other friends remained isolated under Jay Schlatt's rule. Techno was even forced to execute a turbo to maintain his cover, an act that was not only hard in itself, but especially hard when Tommy gave him nothing but criticism when he needed love and support.
Oh, watch out, Technoblade. Tommy's angry at you. Look at him. Look at his eyes. His little pink arm. Look, he's pissed at you, dude. Technoblade. He's angry. Let me send you the coordinates.
Why'd you kill him, Techno? Did you just bend?
I'm here.
What's wrong with you?
But soon the problem at the core of the group began to show. The problem was that although Techno saw the revolutionaries as friends, they saw him as a weapon. And although a weapon is great in war, it quickly becomes useless when the war is won. November 16th. The day had finally come. It was time for a revolution, and so the group met in Pogtopia to rally their numbers and gear. The revolutionaries seemed outnumbered and outgunned, set with the impossible goal to retake their homeland from the alcoholic menace that claimed its presidency. But once again, Techno had other ideas in hand. His dedication and self-sacrifice was never more evident than when he led the revolutionaries to a secret vault stocked to the nines with netherite armor, weapons, potions, and golden apples. Techno supplied the army with the tools they needed to overthrow the soundest of governments, and inspired a new wave of hope in his allies. The army then marched on Manberg, greeted by Dream's Manberg support force, and engaged their enemies in combat. Using Techno's gear, they quickly had Dream and his goons on the back foot, forcing them further back into Manberg territory and taking the eastern tower in their efforts. The hail of arrows from the tower proved far too much for the Manbergians to handle, and they were quickly pinned down. After a brief stalemate, Wilbur called for half of his forces to push north of the docks, and the other half toward Manberg itself. After a few brief scuffles, both groups were successful in their advances, and forced Dream to surrender. At the tip of the revolutionary blade, Dream admitted that Schlatt was an idiot, and he led the army, along with his own forces, to the caravan that started it all, where an armorless Schlatt lay drunk. After threats of execution and a brief exchange about hammock curls, Schlatt died of a sudden heart attack, leaving the war won. With Jay Schlatt gone, Techno was briefly at peace. He'd done it. His side had won, and the government was no more. But with the end of every war dies the need for effective weapons, and so Techno was cast aside. His brothers gathered at the podium, discussing who would lead the new government. Right in front of him, his own brothers, the ones he had fought tooth and nail with, mocked his ideology, mocked his idea of a free land governed by nobody, and discussed who would lead the new government in front of him. This was a shocking realization of Techno, and an extreme betrayal of his trust. All in one moment, it seemed like Techno had just fought a war, not to destroy a government, but replace it. A complete betrayal of his original intentions. Techno was enraged. He realized all at once that these people were no friends or family of his, but just politicians who used him for skill. They looked at him not as Techno, but merely the Blade, and this had never been more apparent than right in this moment. Well, if it's the Blade they wanted, then it was the Blade they were gonna get. Without even thinking, Techno killed Tubbo, the new leader of L'Manberg, and began killing everyone he could get his hands on in blind fury. Panic and chaos spread hard and fast, playing into the hands of the ultimate villain Dream, who fanned the flames by taunting from afar. He told Tommy that Wilbur, his brother, was a traitor, prompting the question as to where the ex-president was, and in the midst of Techno's rage-fueled massacre, and before anyone could get their answer, an unfinished symphony of TNT could be heard echoing from miles away. And so L'Manberg was finished. Techno sent one final goodbye to L'Manberg, releasing two withers and riding off into the sunset in a self-imposed exile. While he felt little remorse for what he did, as he felt wronged and betrayed, he recognized that there was no place for his violent ways in this world anymore. That day, Techno left with his trust broken, his goal incomplete, and his brother dead, with no intention of returning ever again. While Techno may have been wrong to act so violently, looking at things from his perspective, it's hard to say that he's the villain of this story. Techno put his life on the line for his friends, sacrificed his time to their efforts, and fought for their safety. He may have had his own goals, but the reason he wanted to destroy the government in the first place is because he knew that it was the cause of all the suffering. In Techno's mind, it was better to end it through victory as heroes, than to watch it die because they failed to defend it from the villain. But his friends did not listen to him. They let him ramble on about anarchy because they didn't want to lose their best weapon, and then they betrayed his ideals just after he won on the war. In truth, I think there was even an element of fear. They were worried that if they revealed their true intentions to Techno, then he would end it all on his own, waging a one-man war against any government that decided to take Schlatt's place. Everything they did was to control and manipulate Techno to serve their goal, ironically creating another example of governments ruining friendships, just as Techno had warned. So side with whoever you want. But to me, Techno is the victim of heroes.